Hello and welcome back to Logan Sounds Off. Today I'm really excited to be sharing a review of Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. Obviously a really, not only famous country album but a very famous live album. Some people's favourite live album. It's definitely one of my favourites and one of my favourite country records. I really love this record because of how raw and authentic it is. I got a pre-loved copy at the Record Rack, and this actually was originally bought in a Harlequin record shop, which is really cool because you can still find the sticker on the bottom. So that's really cool, and I think there's a number here on the side as well. So it's been through the wars, as you can see on the sleeve and as well on the actual record. If you're on podcast, I'm sorry you won't be able to see this, but if you're on video, there are a couple of scuffs on the record, there are a couple of scratches, but not too bad. There's a bit of surface noise, there's a little bit of a hiss when while you're playing it, a little bit noticeable, but it doesn't really affect the whole playback anyways. I don't have an ultrasonic cleaner to try and remedy this, but it still sounds brilliant. So I was really happy to get one that's in this good a condition for, I believe I got it for, or my dad bought it for me actually, for €15. So that was really cool. Instead of paying full price, I got this really nice record that I guess in a polite way has a lot of character. So I'm really excited to speak about this. When I first heard it, I immediately fell in love with it. But recently, over the week, preparing for this interview, listening to it, I just really loved listening to, even though it's a very dark album at times, the really fun parts of it and how kind of interesting this whole thing was, because this is being performed in a prison, Folsom Prison, which just makes some of the songs way more impactful because most of them are about being in prison. It's really cool. I haven't experienced this album in the full, not as in the music, but I haven't maybe investigated further into it. I haven't read these notes, so I'm very excited to get into that. But I have listened to the music extensively, so that's what I'm going to be discussing about today. And maybe if you have any extra facts about the record, you can comment down below, because I've listened to the music and I've loved the music, so I'd love to hear some more stories about the music. So I'm going to get into all the different tracks. Starting off, side one, we have Folsom Prison Blues. This is an extraordinary track for me personally because I just love the way it's recorded in this prison, how lively it is. I think the bass is really prominent on this track, which I really love. As well as that, there's a lot of cheering and applause, and it's just a fantastic introduction to the album. Then we have Dark as the Dungeon, which is this really dark, grimy and upsetting song about miners and being in the dark, and eventually then somebody mining up you, now formed into coal towards the end. But midway through, it's interrupted by Johnny Cash laughing and telling the crowd that it's being recorded, and the crowd like clapping through about 20 seconds of the song, that it's a bit indecipherable on the first listen, but then when you get to know it, it's a really, again, it's a great characteristic of the record. And then we have I Still Miss Someone, really lovely. Really sad but beautiful song. But I'd love to get into the next track, which is Cocaine Blues, which is my favourite track on the album, apart from one other, but it's actually apart from two others. I do love a lot of songs on this. Actually, apart from three others, I'm sorry. But Cocaine Blues is this really cool, really kind of fast-paced, just like a cocaine high. It kind of, they matching together, song that's all about this guy shooting down his partner or his wife and ends up being sentenced to prison. In the final line, which is very important, is don't lay off the whiskey and don't touch that cocaine. So it's a great end to the song. And then we have 25 minutes to go, another favourite. And this is all about somebody's waiting to be hanged. What happens at 25, 24, 23, all the way down to 1 minute to go. That it might be at one time he's eating his final meal, beans, or a preacher's come to try and save his soul. So that's a really it's a very dark track. It's nearly like dark humour, because it's dark humour because at the end he's like he articulates the final line in such a way that you can imagine him swinging on the trap door that he's been hanged. So it's quite dark. And then we have Orange Blossom Special. This is some amazing harmonica in it, and a very fast kind of drum sound. Really, really fun. I love that. And then we have The Long Black Veil, which is this incredibly sad song about somebody having an affair and being confused, or maybe he is the murderer, I'm still not sure, but confused as a murderer, and then ends up getting hanged. And the woman he was having an affair with, or she was having an affair with him, was didn't shed a tear when he was being hanged, but always comes to his grave crying. So it's quite a sad song. Another sad song on side 2, Send a Picture of Mother. Again, we're going with this prison theme. It's quite apparent throughout the whole record. Then we have The Wall, which is about a prisoner's suicide, which is like, just, it gets really, really dark. But towards the end, because it's going like, that the press misconstrued it, saying, oh, he was trying to escape, when in fact it was suicide. It's quite a very sad song. And very impactful song. And then what contrasts that, and it's kind of weird, but the next song is incredibly hilarious, which is Dirty Old Egg Sucking Dog, which is about a dirty dog that also is old, that also apparently sucks eggs. So it's a really, really funny track that I love. And Johnny gets a bit dark at the end, saying that if his dog doesn't stop eating all of his eggs up, he's going to end up sending the dog to the big chicken house in the sky. So very good song. Then we have another hilarious song, Flushed from the Bathroom of Your Heart, which is all about different ways that he's been removed from your heart. For example, on the calendar, he's next week. He's been down the garbage disposal. He's been flushed from the bathroom of your heart. He's been sent down the sink of your conscience, I think one's another line. I don't know. They all kind of blend in to each other, but it's really, really funny. Then we have Jackson with June Carter. June is such an incredible character, singer, of just beautiful voice, and as well as that, Give My Love to Rose, both credited here as with June Carter. Both of those tracks are really, really cool, and Jackson's just such a fun track. And then we have I Got Stripes, which is just, once you read that, you can hear the song I Got Stripes in your head. And then we have Green Green Grass of Home, another favourite, very, very sad, about going home after prison, meeting all your family, and then waking up back in your prison cell. And then the last track, which is just beautiful, is Greystone Chapel. Now, I don't know the exact name of the guy who wrote this, but I went onto Spotify and I searched up his name and I downloaded, or I added to my library, an album that he actually did. He only did one album. I think there's expanded editions and, all that re-release stuff that if you're a fan of that, you'll probably be into. Obviously, there's a lot of time for re-releases, but I was just excited to listen to this one debut album. So I've got a lot of discovering to do. Also, a lot of these are not written by Johnny, so I'm excited to hear the original songs. So it's going to be really, really cool. I know Dirty Old Egg Sucking Dog isn't actually wrote by him either. The credit is on the label here, so I'm going to get it out. But there's a lot of songs, because there's only a couple that he actually wrote, which I found quite interesting for me as a listener. Dark as a Dungeon wasn't him. Cocaine Blues wasn't him. 25 Minutes Ago wasn't him. Nor was Orange Blossom Special. The Long Black Veil. So to count, we have 2 songs by him so far that he wrote or is credited with writing. Dirty Old Egg Sucking Dog he didn't. Nor did Flush from the Bathroom of Your Heart. Or Jackson. Or Green Green Grass of Home. Or sorry, it's G. Shirley who wrote Greystone Chapel. It's only 3 or 4 he wrote, but he puts such a, for me, who's being introduced to these songs via this album, he puts a great spin on it and makes me want to hear the originals and also listen to his own track, which I guess is kind of the purpose of a cover. So I love that. But again, there's some really funny moments on this album, like with Flushed from the Bathroom of Your Heart, and then there's some really dark, very upsetting songs like The Wall, which is about such a horrible moment where a prisoner committed suicide, which is quite a difficult moment and obviously very depressing on the album, and very sobering. And then you have Cocaine Blues and Folsom Prison Blues, which are just so fast and punchy. This album's so well rounded. I love it. It's just one of my favourite records in my collection. It's one of the only country records I have in my collection, if the only one. I'm so happy that I spotted this preloved version. Genuinely, love this record, and definitely pick it up. And I know there's a CD reissue released in the 90s with bonus tracks that I've got on my Discogs want list. So if you don't have a vinyl collection, I'd strongly recommend you check out that version. And I haven't listened to the other tracks yet that are on that release. I've only listened to them on this. So for all my nerds out there of Discogs or whatever discography app you use, definitely check that out, because it'll be really, really cool. But yeah, at Folsom Prison. Can't wait to listen to Johnny's other live albums at other prisons. And I first of all want to thank my dad for buying this for me, and I also want to thank the Record Rack for having it in stock. So yeah, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. If this is an album that you love, let me know. If this is an album that you hate, let me know, and say why. Maybe you go, oh, I actually prefer this album, or I actually prefer the original, or maybe if you like the original of this song, you might like the discourse. Is up to you down below. I hope we'll have a cool conversation down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please like it, show your support. If you know somebody who's a Johnny Cash fan, like yourself, share it on. And if you like my channel and you watch it a little bit, subscribe. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. It's just a button. Don't even have to turn on notifications. You can leave that alone. And if you don't like the channel anymore, that's grand. Unsubscribe. But I do thank you for all your support, and make sure to check me out on social media at Logan Sounds Off. Thanks so much for watching.